Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Just want to make sure I can share my stuff.
Yep, for sure. Uh,
Let me see. You can see my screen?
yep, we got you.
Okay, great. Awesome.
All right, cool. So you're all good here. Um, I'm actually going to hop out and turn it over to you.
Yeah, go for it. Sounds good. Should I wait till about 12 or?
Yeah, give it a couple minutes. And keep in mind too, this will be recorded, so we'll be sending this out to everybody afterwards.
Awesome.
So if they missed it, if they wanted to be live with the CE credits and they didn't want to step away, we'll make sure that they get this so the information still gets to them.
Awesome. That sounds good.
All right, thanks, man. I'll see you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ian. Thank you guys so much who've joined thus far. We'll go ahead and wait just a couple of minutes, probably till about like 12:02, 12:03. Allow some people to join the meeting, and then we can go ahead and begin. All right, guys, we'll just wait another extra minute so we can get a couple more people inside, and then we'll go ahead and begin. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I promise you, I will not waste your time with this. You guys will absolutely find this valuable and extremely useful for your tax business as you start to scale from a digital standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, and see how some of the new products as it relates to the marketing features start to come about and really, really help you guys grow. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for joining the Zoom session. At Refundo, for us, it's always about using technology to bridge the gap between tax professionals and their true potential. And we go beyond what's expected as a tax industry bank. And that's the reason for some of the new marketing services and things like that that we're starting to bring out. So let's go ahead and begin. When you sign up with Refundo All-in-One Marketing, this is besides kind of the traditional things that we do include, for instance, like refund transfers, refund advances, ERO advances, which you can ask us a little bit more. But our latest product really starts to bring everything together because we need to make sure that we can advertise this properly, retain our existing customers, let them know, inform them about what's going on as we start to approach tax season. And so here are some of the things that you get when you sign up with us. You get a CRM, which is a contact management system. And so you'll be able to add new contacts. You can import contacts into the software. And that way you can start to manage them a little bit more effectively. One thing that we've been doing with a lot of our tax pros who've already signed up, we're doing these weekly newsletters, right? Just a little outreach as you start to approach tax season. And the reason why that's so powerful is no one's really thinking about tax season as much as they will be in December or January. And so by including like a weekly newsletter and having all your contacts start to receive those, you're starting to communicate what your services are, what your referral offers are, and things like that. So you can start to bring them closer as you approach tax season. We also have pre-made tax-specific websites. And so we've researched hundreds of different tax websites, and we identified the most important parts to create something that's very tax-specific. And so we built out 4 different website templates, 4 with pricing and 4 without pricing. And the best part about this is you can do any changes whatsoever with no coding ability or any technical ability, which makes it really easy to use. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like in the live tour in just a second. We also have text and email automation. So you can create a lot of the text and email campaigns to your customers, similar to kind of the newsletter that we were just mentioning. If you have a promotion or a giveaway or things that you start to lead up to tax season, that's extremely powerful. Not to mention campaigns for prior year customers, referral campaigns, things like that. And we'll touch on kind of what that looks like when we jump in the live tour. You also get an appointment calendar that's already built in, and this is connected to your CRM. It's connected to your website. So if you have services like Calendly or Zoho or things like that, you don't need those things since this is all powered in-house, connected to everything. Just makes it really, really easy. Now, a big part of any local business, especially tax businesses, is your Google ranking. And so I'll challenge you guys and I'll ask you, where do you appear when someone searches tax pro near me, and what are they saying about you? This is extremely valuable and very important because Google places an emphasis on your ranking factor in 2 ways. One, making sure that your Google My Business profile is set up. And the second one is making sure that you have enough positive reviews, because Google wants to continue showing their customers who type in tax pro near me the best tax offices in the area. So if you start to get a lot of positive 5-star reviews, some good comments, Google's going to start to rank you much more efficiently. And in local results, these are really easy wins for you guys. So low hanging fruit. And then you'll be able to start to convert those a little bit more efficiently. And we have a fantastic, super simple system where you can start to send out review links and then have your customers review your tax office and start to scale it and rank better on Google. We also have an email builder that's built in. So if you ever want to send out a promotional email or anything like that, a lot of the text and email automations that we've built are built within the email builder. You can create as many as you want. You can get, creative if you have, a department that specializes in, a virtual assistant that can kind of help with those types of things. But we also are very hands-on in this entire approach. If there's any adjustments to the website, if there's any campaigns or emails, things that, you want to send out, but don't have, let's say, the wordplay, kind of experts on that. So we can help you kind of create those and make you more efficient as you start to continue your outreach. We also have free hosting, which is fantastic, right? You don't have to pay for anything else besides what the service offers, which I'll share with you kind of towards the end of the presentation. Any emails that go out, you don't have to pay for. Any text messages that go out, you don't have to pay for. And hosting the website, you don't have to pay for as well. We'll make sure to cover those fees. And we also have a weekly Facebook group where we'll provide some trainings along the way, so you can kind of communicate as a group and figure out what's working, what's not, and then utilize a lot of the features, because this is just like the bare minimum of kind of the power we've been able to bring to you guys. But this is extremely important to help start to scale it. And there's a lot of other things that we can do as well, but just wanted to make sure we can touch on that. Any questions on that from you guys? Okay, we can go ahead and continue. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and share my screen so you can see the software in its entirety and kind of see how everything kind of comes about. Okay, perfect. So from within here, actually, let's go into Launchpad real quick. You'll notice that we have a couple options for you to connect your Google My Business profile. That way you'll be able to even start to sync your reviews. So any reviews that you get on Google My Business will directly reflect on the website. So you'll have a nice little base of customer testimonials. You'll be able to connect your Facebook and Instagram as well. Start responding from within here if you'd like. And then you can also integrate with Stripe. So if you have, for instance, a course that you want to make sure that they pay for, or if you want them to pay up front for your tax prep fees, or if you want them to, pay for a consultation, this is all already included and embedded from within the software. It just makes it really easy for you to communicate that with your customers. So the first thing that we're going to go ahead and look at are the websites. So I'll show you right here. You click on funnels and websites, and then click on websites. And then you'll notice that we have 4 different website templates already built out. There's going to be 4 with pricing, 4 without pricing. If you don't want to show your pricing, you prefer to have a conversation with your taxpayers and then book an appointment with you first so you can understand their tax situation and then charge them a price, absolutely can do that. So what we're going to do first initially is we're going to go through the different kind of pages that we have built out for you. And then you can go ahead and see the kind of full customer journey and how a website should be built. Okay, and so what we have right here, we'll have the 3 pages that are currently loading right now. You have the home page, booking page, and a pricing page, and this little calendar page that we've added to it as well. Now, you have an edit option and a preview of the website. Let's go ahead and take a look first at what the preview looks like, and then I'll kind of show you how easy it is for you to make any adjustments. Now, the biggest part of any tax website is making sure that you can dumb it down for any website visitor. Make it extremely easy for you to kind of navigate through. Now you have call to action buttons on each section. Your message is extremely clear. You can have your logo included right here. Obviously, we'll help you on the front end make sure that you can achieve all of this before anything, so you can even have your website running within, I would say 5 to 7 business days. Include your office information, email, phone number, address, and then these buttons so that they can kind of navigate either to the booking page or they can click on this little file remotely if you have a virtual portal where they can start sending taxpayer documents to you. Now you see how easy and efficient this is for you guys to start to receive these docs and then convert those as customers. Now, the most important part of any website is this part right here. It's called the lead magnet. And so what you're doing here is you are providing a free resource in exchange for their name, phone number, and email. Now, why is that so important? The main reason is because if a website visitor reaches your site and they leave, that's a missed opportunity. You can't get that person back. But if you provide this free resource and you're saying, hey, here are the 10 most top 10 missed deductions for individuals. I want to give you this free resource. Check it out. Now, for me, if I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, well, I'm curious to see what these deductions might be and what if maybe something I'm missing on. If they click on that option, it's going to bring them to a page that's going to say, okay, where should we send this free checklist? Give me your first name, your last name, your email, maybe also include your phone number, and we'll go ahead and send it to you, right? It's not as simple as, for instance, creating a contact us or join our mailing list. That's not attractive enough. You need to provide value. You need to start building trust with your customers this way or potential customers this way. And so you want to make sure that you can achieve that. The best part about this is we've already built out these PDFs for you. So we've already built this one out for you. We've been built out in the same way a checklist for businesses. So if they want to go ahead and download this the same way, if it's a small business that wants to work, that wants to understand kind of the checklist that you're providing to them, you can absolutely include it right there, and it'll take them to a similar page where they can go ahead and give you their name, phone number, and email, capture that information, and now you can use that for anything. Now they automatically get added to the CRM. You'll be able to email them afterwards. You can text them afterwards, any promotions, any businesses that way, and you want to make sure that you can achieve it like that. As you continue to scroll through, you want to make sure that you have your headshot. You want to make sure that it's relatable. You want to make sure that you're starting to, gain some trust with your customer. Maybe an image of you, your headshot. Maybe you're in the tax office, something like that, where it's starting to become relatable. You share your story, what challenges you're helping solve, why you got started in the industry. Start to kind of speak to those points. Then we have what you offer. And if you notice, there's no visual tension whatsoever. It's extremely clear what you're offering. Individual tax prep, business tax prep, audit protection. If you want to include things like bookkeeping or entity formation or credit repair or financial consulting, those are other services that most tax pros offer, and we can absolutely include that for you in a very, very clean way, so where it's organized, there's no visual tension. And if you notice, each section has a call to action. You need to make sure that you're guiding the user in the direction that you want. So if in this case, I want them to book a call with me, right? Now, it doesn't have to be a book a call in each little section. We can include one right over in the middle here, where it's kind of a little bit bigger, so you don't have all three of those, but it really depends on your aesthetics and kind of how you envision that happening. And then as we scroll down, the big part of any website is making sure that we can solve problems for our customers. And one of the problems is alternative payment options. So if I know, for instance, that your tax prep fees are $200 or $250, I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I'll maybe do it on TurboTax and I'll do it for free, right? In quote unquote. But they don't know that they're shooting themselves in the foot, and they're not, having an expert really look at maximizing their returns like you will be. Right. And so we want to make sure that we can position this and say, hey, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. You can use a refund transfer and pay after your refund arrives. And here's some information about that, right? You can choose your disbursement as direct deposit, check, or a net spend prepaid Visa card. Fees won't be collected afterwards. It's one point that this pay by refund option is not really known by a lot of people. People don't know that this option is available. So making sure you can include it front and center as an alternative payment option for customers can be very, very useful. In the exact same way that a refund advance is, right? Tax professionals are using refund advances as the centerpiece of their marketing, and they want to make sure that at least provide the option, right? Or that customers at least have the option of accessing the refund advance at your location. And so you want to make sure that you have that front and center, showing that information, and then you have a call to action saying, hey, see if you qualify, right? Then you push them into a direction of booking a call with you. You have them on the phone, and now you can start to understand their situation better, convert that person as a client. But you can see now the website is actually working for you. It's not just saying, oh, yeah, I have a website. Well, great, you have a website. Is that bringing you new leads? Is that bringing you new customers? Because if it's not, then it's not doing anything for you. It's just saying you have a website to say that you have a website, just to tell your friends you have a website, but it's not doing anything. And so we're trying to change that and make sure you can establish a strong digital presence to ensure that you're starting to gather these customers online. Okay. In the exact same way, the name of the game is let's get their name, phone number, and email. So we've done a lot of research on Facebook and on Instagram, and we noticed that one of the most requested resources is how to write off almost anything. So how do I write off my cell phone? How do I write off my car? How do I write off my home office? And so you want to be able to provide these things, and we have it already created for you, which will show you in just a second what happens. But if they click on download free PDF, it's going to open up this little pop-up. It's going to say, hey, where should we send this free resource? Now it doesn't sound so salesy. Now it sounds more like I'm doing you a favor. And they're giving you their information, and you're starting to legitimize yourself as the expert, which is the main goal. Then here's some more information about what you do best. You know, send a friend and get paid, your referral offer, your year-round support. You can change this as much as you want. I'll show you how you can do that in just a second. And then you want to make sure you have testimonials here as well. And you can notice like it's very simple, clean, nice to look at. There's no, missed fonts everywhere. It's, very clear messaging. And so you want to be able to identify certain pain points that people are currently having when they're kind of going through, whether it's a tax amendment or if you needed a refund advance and you were able to help. They want to identify with these people, and that brings them closer to working with you. And then at the footer of the website, we want to make sure that we can, join our mailing list. But we're not just saying join our mailing list. It's not powerful enough. And so in a lot of cases, the way I've worked with other tax pros, they've been able to save clients up to thousands of dollars in taxes each year, right? Because they understand the value that they're sharing, the information that they're sharing with them. And so we want to be able to position that in a strong headline. Give me your full name, give me your address, and then we'll start kind of having that conversation. Have your logo along with your social media icons as well. Okay. If you guys want to put any questions in the chat, you absolutely can. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and continue along and show you kind of how it looks like to make any additions. Okay, so here's what the builder looks like. You can see it's very easy, maybe familiar to some of the things you've used in the past. If not, I'll show you real quick kind of how that looks. If I click on this section, it's as simple as making any adjustments right to the text. You can add it right in there. Makes it really simple for you to do. Now, in the same way, when you click on this little section, it's going to open up the settings here on the left-hand side. So I can go ahead and scroll down and then click on desktop font size. Let's say we'll change it to 60, right? Make it really big. Okay, same way, you want to make sure you can kind of play with these buttons as well. If I click on this button, I need to change the color to to match more of my brand and things like that. I'll make it to blue, maybe this little green here, maybe this red. You can kind of start to play with that and see how easy it is to kind of manage that, right? In the same way for images, if I click on this image, it's going to open up the settings here on the left-hand side. Now, what's really cool is you can kind of play with the spacing a little bit if you'd like. So I want to go ahead and put some margin on here. I'm going to push it down. You can absolutely do that, or we can go ahead and bring it back up. In the exact same way, for this image, like you see, the settings are open here because it's still highlighted in this little rectangle here. As you scroll to the bottom, you're going to see this image option. If I click on image, I can upload any images from my computer. I can upload any images from the internet. I can actually even search for any images from within here. And then I can go ahead and select it. Once you select it, it'll appear right here. Let's say, you know what, this looks a little too big. Let's make it a little smaller. Sure. Here's the width of the pixels. We put it 300, and we'll bring it back to that size. Or we can make it really big if we'd like. Let's just go ahead and bring it back to normal. Now, another really cool thing is, let's say you like this row, right, of things here. You like this row, you like this column, you like this column. You want to replicate that because I don't want to have to redo it again. Now, we make it extremely easy for you to do so. You have this little clone option here. So if I click on this little clone option, right underneath it, it starts to copy this particular section because you offer more services. So here I can include bookkeeping, I can include credit repair, I can include entity formation, and it's as simple as just changing the text. So I'll give you a quick little example. I would just go ahead and do this, and I'll put bookkeeping. Okay. Same way, you can just change the image, you can change the text, and now you have a new little section here that you can start to mention about kind of some of the things you're offering. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and exit this right over here. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll leave without any changes. And what I want to show you here is what's this little customer journey look like, right? If they click on this top 10 missed deductions, what happens? Like, what's the follow-up sequence? Are we giving them this free resource? Like, what does that look like, right? So we'll go ahead and do that for you right now. So if I click on top 10 missed deductions, it's going to bring me to this page and say, okay, where should we send this checklist? So I'll go ahead and include, for instance, we'll include my dog's name. or actually no, let's include Jesse. I want to make sure it's not a duplicate because I've used this before. So let's actually use Fernando. And we'll say his name, last name, we'll just say test, extra T. And we'll say Fernando test22 at gmail.com. Okay, ideally this would be what your clients would be typing in. So what we'll do right here is we'll click on get top 10 missed deductions. Great. And it's going to bring them to this page right over here. It's going to say, hey, you should be receiving an email of your free checklist shortly. Don't forget to check all your inboxes, because if it's coming from a new domain, sometimes it can go into spam or junk. So we want to make sure, hey, make sure you check all of them, because we sent you the free resource and it's really valuable that you get it. So go ahead and check those out. Now we want to strike while the iron's hot. And this is important because we want to make sure that you can book an appointment with you, right? And so we have this already laid out where they can book an appointment right from within here. It makes it really easy for you to do so. And then obviously get the process going. Now, when you reach this page, if they don't book an appointment with you, there's a couple of things that happen. That Fernando test, they're now automatically added into the CRM, automatically. So now you don't have to worry about manually inputting anything. They're already set. The second thing that happens, you as the tax professional receive an alert in your email saying, hey, you've received a new lead. Someone downloaded your free checklist. Awesome. And then the third thing that happens, like we mentioned, if they don't book an appointment with you, we automatically enroll them into an email campaign that focuses on booking an appointment. And so we want to be able to share this checklist, but we don't want to just stop there. We don't want to just give them the free resource and then not follow up accordingly. And so that's exactly what we're going to do in this process. Now, if they go ahead and book an appointment with you, that's completely fine. What we'll do is for the email campaigns that we enroll them in, we'll just remove them, because the goal is to book an appointment, get that conversation going, and we don't want to send them emails saying like, hey, book an appointment, if they've already booked an appointment with you. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go back into the software, and then we're going to go ahead and click on contacts to make sure that you see the contact that came into the system. Sometimes it goes in really quickly. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes. So we'll go ahead and do that. Maybe do a couple of refreshes just to make sure. But in the meantime, I can also share a couple other things from within here so you guys can see. Okay, fantastic. So it says Fernando test was name right over here. We don't have the phone number because we didn't include it in the form, but you certainly can. Then here's the email. Here's when it was created. And then here has this little individual checklist tag. And we want to make sure that we have that because we just identified, okay, this person signed up on this individual checklist. So if they click on, for instance, Fernando test, you're going to see on the right-hand side that it has kind of their activity, right? It's going to say, I'm going to let it load for a second, kind of what page they visited, the page that they visited, the form that they submitted, right? Contact created. If you want to add a task to a preparer that works in your office, you certainly can. And just like, hey, make sure you follow up with this person, even though we already enrolled them into an email campaign. Now, you can add notes to them as well, kind of anything that you had in the discussion or, you know, anything like that. We can include that there as well. Now, right over here, which I'll show you in just a second, is that first email that gets sent out to them because it's the checklist. You want to make sure that we send that to them. And here's kind of how that looks. It's going to say your logo right over here, and it's going to say, hey, Fernando, this is Jesse's tax service, and it's a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you so much for downloading the 10 most commonly missed deductions. Here's your link to download the PDF. Now, okay, that's fantastic, right? I want to be able to click on that. And we've already created this document for you the same way we've created the small business checklist, the same way we've created how to write off almost anything. And if you scroll down, you're going to see here the 10 most commonly missed deductions: interest on student loans, charitable donations, travel fees, wedding fees, summer camp, educator expenses, things like that. And what you're starting to do is legitimize yourself as the expert. You're trying to prove yourself to them because there's a lot of noise on social media. There's not a lot of noise on the internet, and you want to start to separate yourself by providing good educational and free value. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll jump back in here, and I want to show you kind of what happens, because this isn't the only email that we want to go ahead and send, and we want to focus in on kind of the verbiage that we're saying. So we'll click on this little option here for marketing, and then we'll click on this little option for campaigns. And then you're going to notice this little number here. So these are the people that are currently enrolled in this campaign. So if I click on this little number 40, it's going to say Fernando test, right, was added here, and they are in the first step out of 10 steps in this campaign. Okay, well, great. What does that campaign look like, right? Because we know what that first email was to give them that free checklist. Now we want to say, okay, here's some more information about what's going on. So let's continue to follow up the right way. So we'll go ahead and click on campaigns again, and I'll show you exactly what that campaign looks like. So we'll click on this campaign, and then you see here's the individual checklist, and it's ready, and it's similar to kind of what you just saw, right? Here's kind of how it looks from our side, where we can kind of make adjustments. Now, once we give them that checklist, we say, hey, I hope this helps you earn more on taxes. We work with a lot of expert writers to kind of transition the conversation from that freebie to, hey, come work with me. Okay, so we say, Fernando, I've got a question for you. Do you mind if I share how we can help maximize your tax refund and ensure you get back every single penny? I would love the opportunity to do that for you, your friends, and your family. Book a call with me. And that's exactly what you want to be able to do, right? Transition that conversation, because every tax situation is different, and you'll be able to help solve any of those problems. Now, one thing that often happens and it gets overlooked is the follow-up sequences. Because what if I get distracted? What happens then? Then you send them a free checklist, it gets buried in their spam, and then you don't follow up the right way. But here in this system, we're saying, okay, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to send them an email a day after this. We're going to say, with the subject, is getting tax help difficult for you? And the third email is going to say, hey, want to get the most out of tax season? And these happen one day after each other. Now, if I want to change the sequence and say, I'll change it to 2, or I'll change it to 3, or maybe to 4, you can start to kind of play with how aggressive you want to be in your approach to acquire this person as a client. Now, you want to be able to be in their face. They've already given you permission. They're saying, I downloaded this checklist because I anticipated you reaching out to me anyway. And now we have a follow-up sequence for email 3 a day after, and then email 4, and then email 5. People get distracted, and so we want to catch them at the right time. So let's say email 6, they're lounging around, they're watching TV, and they get an email on their phone that says, hey, friends getting bigger tax refunds than you? They're like, yeah, I don't like that. So let's hear what that email kind of has to say, so you can see how we've been able to kind of position yourself properly within these follow-up sequences. And we say, hey, there's nothing worse like feeling like your accountant is doing the bare minimum during tax season, and that frustration grows when you hear your friends talk about how big their refund is. If you feel like you might be missing out by not working with a financial expert who specializes in maximizing your refund, I invite you to book a call with me. Right now, you're starting to see the power behind this. You're starting to see the value behind this. We're trying to make sure that we can help, and we're positioning it in different ways. If they want a refund advance, we have that in email 5. If you're looking for an alternative payment option, we have that in email 4, right? And we'll continue to do so, and then create some urgency where, hey, spots are filling up pretty quick. I'm really good at what I do. I want to make sure that I secure your spot and make sure that tax season is a breeze for you. Okay, and that's what we want to be able to include in these follow-up sequences, and that's why it's so important to have. Okay, and then what I'll show you here as well. So, for instance, we have along with the email automation, the websites, the CRM, we also have the ability to create calendars from within here. So let's click on settings right over quick, and then you're going to see calendars. What's really cool is you can create a team calendar. So if you have a couple people on your team, you can create a calendar like this, where it looked just like that, kind of how you saw it on the previous page. And what you'll see is they'll be able to book a call with you directly. Right over here, you can provide this information right here. In the same way, you can create unassigned calendars, just simple calendars. Now, if you have a team under you and they click on that one, let's say, for instance, myself, let's say Rodrigo and Sergio, right, that they work under me as well. So when someone books a call, we can create it where it's a round robin. Well, I'll get the first lead, Rodrigo will get the second lead, Sergio will get the third, and then and it'll circle back. In the same way, we can create a new calendar from within here. So we can do that really quickly. Let's say, we'll keep on test. I saw your name there, so I'll go ahead and include your name there. You can add a description right over here. Say, hey, free tax consultation or something like that. You can put a meeting location if you have, a virtual Zoom or GoToMeeting or or Google Hangout, anything like that. You can link your calendars from within here. Then I'll go ahead and click on Save and Continue. Okay, and then from within here, your slot duration, let's say you want to do it every hour, right? Minimum scheduling notice time, and I think you've seen a lot of these things before. You want to make sure you can put maybe a day in advance so that you know kind of who's coming in and who's not. And then here within the office hours, you can kind of start to play with, I want to include it on Saturday. I want to change it from 8 a.m. Let's say we'll change it to 6:05 p.m., right? And then kind of play with those that way. Okay, we'll go ahead and click on Save and Continue. And then right from within here, we'll use a sticky contact, which is pretty cool. So when they fill out that form initially on the website for that lead magnet, if you use a sticky contact, then this information will automatically, so their name, phone number, and email will be included into the calendar when they're going to go ahead and create an appointment with you. Just makes it really easy for them to just have that completed. Then you click on Complete, and then you have a new calendar right over here. So if I click on this calendar, it's going to look a little bit different, something like this. And then I'll click on, let's say, I want to do 9:30 on Thursday, the 21st, right? You see how the sticky contact already had the information from before. We have Fernando test, and then we can include the phone number. Oh. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and click on book appointment. Is there anything that you want to know ahead of time? Nope. Thank you. We'll submit it. And then now the user can add it to their Google Calendar. They can add it to their Outlook, which is great. And then two things will happen. One thing, you'll receive an alert in your email saying, hey, someone's booked an appointment with you. No worries. We've already kind of sent them which is really cool. So when they book an appointment, you receive the email letting them know that you have the appointment scheduled. It's going to be in the software as well. So I'll show you that right over here where it says scheduling, and then you can click on appointments. You'll see a nice little manifest of the different appointments that you have coming up. And then what's really cool is we'll do an appointment reminder campaign that we've have included. So as soon as they book an appointment, 2 days, 1 day, and 1 hour before the appointment, we're letting them know, hey, we saved that spot for you. Let us know if you want to reschedule or if you want to make any adjustments. Here's where my tax office is, or here's my Zoom meeting link. I'll see you in there. Just reminding them so you can start to reduce your no-shows. And that's extremely, extremely important. Okay. Any questions on that? Maybe if there's anything in the chat, I'll be more than happy to answer any of those questions. If not, feel free to go ahead and we're going to do a quick little Q&A towards the end. Next thing that I wanted to just touch on, and that's pretty much it on our side, is making sure that you can start to maximize your Google presence, right? So when we click on settings right over here, you're going to notice this little reputation tab. So when you click on this little reputation tab, once you sync your Google My Business profile, you'll be able to generate a link right from within here. So actually what we'll do right now is I'm going to go into one of my tax offices that I'm currently working with, so you can see a little bit of how that's working. In the meantime, I can answer a question. Check this out. Okay, great. So we'll go ahead and see right here, you can go ahead and generate a link. And then here's kind of what it looks like. So all you need to do is format this once. So you'll have the logo that's attached right over here. You have your message. And essentially what you're doing here is you're asking for reviews, but you're asking it in a very seamless way, frictionless way, no obstacles, really easy. This would essentially appear in your text message. It'll say your logo and it'll say, hey, thank you for your business. Can you take 1 minute and provide us a quick review of your experience? In the same way, we can do it through email. We'll say, hey, tell us how we did. Thank you for your business. Can you take a minute to give us a quick review? And this little button that says yes. So when they click on that button that says yes, here's kind of how that would look like. It'll take them to your Google My Business profile. And then the only thing that will happen is this little pop-up where it's going to be like, okay, give us a quick little review, where you'll have the star review. You can post a comment, and it just makes it really easy for you to start to acquire those. If you have, for instance, like I mentioned before, 100 clients, maybe 200 clients, and 10% of those people respond to giving you a quick review, that's 20 new reviews. That's 30 new reviews. And now Google is saying, wow, I need to pay attention to Jesse's tax service because they're getting a lot of reviews, and I need to show people who search tax pro near me these kind of tax offices. So it really starts to help you scale in that sense. Now, I'll go ahead and add just one more thing that we're including within the service, is social media management. And this is really important for a lot of tax professionals, because they need to be more consistent about posting on social media, whether it's on Instagram, on Facebook. And so we have two tiers. Actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and show you the different pricing that we have available first before we get into that. So let me go ahead and stop my share very quickly, and then I'll go ahead and show you exactly what the pricing is for that. Any questions on that? You guys can unmute yourself and we can go ahead and answer some of those questions as I start to pull that information up. No need to be shy. We can answer any question you guys like. Okay. Okay, so what I'll do real quick, I'm going to share my screen again. And you're going to go ahead and see. So this is from within the Refundo dashboard. And then you'll notice we have a nice slew of little things from within here just to make it really easy for you. Are you ready for tax season? Here's where you stand. Let's make sure we connect all these things, have your compliance test, things like that. We have a whole bunch of options here on the left-hand side. We do a trivia test, trivia contest, which is really cool with a lot of our customers. And we'll raffle off, let's say, an Amazon gift card for the week. And we'll have 5 questions each day. If you answer them, the people who get the most amount of questions right and answer them in the quickest time will get a score for that day. And then the person who has the most points at the end of the week wins the prize of the week. And in most cases, it's like $100 Amazon gift card. Sometimes we've gone up to 200, 300. So something fun for you guys to do as well. Now we have this marketing tab here on the left-hand side. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And then you see a little bit more information of kind of how it works, how to get started. And if you do decide to get started with the marketing service, you'll find our pricing to be extremely surprising, right? For all the kind of value that we're starting to give to you guys. So if you click on get started, you're going to notice what we have available. So for the website, for the email and text automation, for the CRM, all the different, like pages that we have in place, all the campaigns that we have in place, it'll be $50 a month. If you decide to do the $75 a month, that includes Connect, which is our virtual tax business portal. So remember on the website where it said file remotely or start sending taxpayer documents, we'll be able to add Connect to your website so that they can start sending taxpayer information directly to you. They can sign from within Connect. So you have the option of adding it to the website, or you also have the option of using it as a mobile app. We'll have both options for you. Okay, and then $97 a month. It includes everything in Pro and in Standard, and you'll also meet with me 2 to 3 times a month, to like once a week, I would say, to make sure that we can start to scale your business the right way as it relates to Facebook ads, if you want to run ads, Instagram ads, Google ads. I've helped a lot of tax offices across the East Coast really start to utilize those platforms to their advantage and leverage them the right way, because there's a lot of tax pros who say, oh, this doesn't work for me. Facebook doesn't work for me. But it's not that. You have to learn how to use that vehicle properly. And we've been able to help a lot of tax professionals position themselves a lot better on Facebook, and then they've been able to see more conversions, more new customers. Because there's one thing that I notice a lot in the tax industry, and it's that tax professionals rely way too much on referrals and word of mouth. And although they're good, it's a great tool. You need to think more about playing offense as opposed to defense, because then I'm relying on people to grow my business. And if I don't have the right features and mechanisms in place, whether it's on Facebook, on Instagram, on my website, and my emails, then I'm doing myself a disservice. And so that's what we want to be able to help and provide. So here are the different pricing tiers that we have. Along with that, we have social media management as well, which is an add-on to this. So we have 2 tiers for that. 1 is $25 a month, which is 2 posts per week, which is 8 posts per month, which is around $3 a post, which is pretty crazy. And then $50 a month, which is 4 posts per week, which is around 16 posts per month. Okay. And now we're not just posting to post, because that doesn't work. We're not just going to go ahead and ask you for some information and just, create like a simple design where we're just sharing like a headshot and your offer and here's what you do and here's what you do. Because on Facebook and Instagram, especially on social media, you need to be able to build trust with your customers. And what's the easiest way to build trust? It's by sharing information, by teaching, by educating. And so that's what we want to be able to achieve. And as soon as you sign up, you'll receive a little onboarding form where I'm asking you, hey, do you work with a niche? Do you work with a niche? Right? And we find that to be extremely useful and effective on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll give you an example why. So let's say, for instance, you say, okay, I want to work with dentists, right? I want to do taxes for I want to be the expert for dentists, right? So what we'll start to do is create content specifically for dentists. So if I'm saying, here are the 5 legal tax loopholes for dentists in 2021. If I'm a dentist, I'm going to be extremely intrigued as to kind of what you're saying, because maybe my accountant isn't really doing what you're doing for other dentists. And I'm going to be curious to see what that's about. Now, 2 things happen. One, you start to legitimize yourself as the expert. And then what I'll do is, okay, let me see what this page is about. I'll click on the page. It'll take me to your Instagram profile where you're talking about other things as it relates to dentistry and their taxes. Now you have not just that one post. Now you have, if you do like 4 posts a week, 16 posts a month. Now you're starting to build so much content about you being an expert for dentists and their taxes. Now, what do you think that dentist is going to do in terms of referrals? That dentist is going to has a network of other dentists. He's going to reach out to his friends who are also dentists and say, hey, you need to work with Jesse, or you need to work with Fernando. You need to work with Deshaun. You need to work with Kiana, with Crystal. These are the kind of things that you want to be able to do and position yourself, because you're doing things that their accountant isn't. You're specializing, right? You're learning really like the nitty gritty. And once you learn how to work with one, once you understand one dentist, you can apply the strategy to another and another, and it gets easier and easier and easier. It's going to just like flow off the tongue super easy when you're in networking events or anything like that. Just makes it extremely useful, extremely easy for you to take advantage of that. Okay. Any questions on that in terms of strategy, what you guys are doing? Again, the pricing for that is $25 a month for 2 posts per week, and then $50 a month for 4 posts per week. Now, that's on the marketing side. We also have Connect. So if you want to learn how to leverage more of a digital presence, this coupled with the marketing is huge. It's key, right? You want to make it easy for them. You want to make sure that, they're trained in a different way, right? Because a lot of it, say your customers are used to coming into your tax office, doing their taxes that way. It's going to take a little bit of a learning curve, but it's going to be, once you kind of go through those growing pains and do it the right way, right? Where you send them a text message where they can click on a link that downloads the mobile app, that sends over the information, that where you can communicate, sign the return, seamless. It won't be for everybody at first, but as you start to scale, right, now you don't just limit yourself to people that come to your tax office. Now it's not just within 5 miles of my office. Now it's the whole United States. And if you're thinking of, working with niches specifically, how many dentist groups, how many teacher groups, how many like gig worker groups on Facebook will you find? How many hashtags will be like dentist in America, or dentist in New Jersey, or dentist and taxes? How many different things can you start to explore where people will start to, credit you as that expert? So it's important that you guys think about it this way, and we're pushing up more towards, not just facilitating the refund transfers, which we do in excellent fashion, refund advances, which we have up to 9,500. We have ERO advances up to 100K. We have audit protection that you can offer customers, payment processing through Stripe right from within here. Really, really all these tools that you can start to use. Now it's like, okay, we have all these things. We're facilitating these great services. We're specializing in these. Now let's find these people customers, because that's what starts to separate us as a bank. We're bringing you people. We're positioning yourself online. how often, and you can probably ask yourself, like in terms of, getting a website in Wix or WordPress or anything like that. How difficult is that to manage? Because let's say you don't have a point of contact, or you don't know how to build this out. You don't know design. You don't know how to do these things. We're doing all this for you. We positioned it perfectly. If you ever need any help on your end, all you need to do is let us know, and we'll start to add additional services, expand your business. You want to make sure that your tax office, right, your business online is an extension of that. And that's what we're trying to achieve, making sure that it's a simple and easy process to do so. India Cook, I was told to ask you for your code or password. I'm not sure what that means exactly. If you want to go ahead and take yourself off mute and let me know. If you'd like to schedule a free demo with me, it'll kind of touch on a lot of these things. So we can kind of discuss a little bit more about that. But these are the tools you guys need to grow, and we're providing these for you. You need a presence. If you need landing pages, so for instance, from like Instagram, like how do you leverage Instagram? If you notice, like if we can, I'll show you real quick. If we go to our Instagram Refundo page, you guys can see, how do you start to leverage that? How do you, push people in those directions? How am I capturing information here? So if you notice, right, from within here, we have this little button where it says tap link.cc-refundo. Now I can't click on this little option here on a web page because it won't take me anywhere. It'll only work for you on a mobile app. But when they click on that button, it's going to take them to a page that's going to say, hey, here's my free resource on why dentists should work with me, or top 10 missed deductions, or checklist for businesses. When they click on that, we can also even take them to landing pages, not just your website. We can take them to specific pages where the only option that they have available is to give you their name, phone number, and email. We need to be more effective about this. If we're not, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're just saying we have a website to say we have a website, or we have an Instagram to say we have an Instagram. You want to make sure that these things are optimized. Leverage every part of real estate that you have online. Facebook, LinkedIn. How many LinkedIn groups for like specific niches, like dentists, right? We'll continue on that example, things like that. So I challenge you guys to really consider how you start to expand. Please, we're very tech driven and know this sphere, this little, very, very well. We know how to do this already for a lot of tax pros who have worked with us, and they're doing it in a fantastic way. And so that's essentially what we want to show. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. If you'd like me to show you something else, we also have this little newsletter campaign that we've built out for a lot of tax pros, which have been really, really useful for them. So I can show you real quick, and if you guys have any questions, you feel free to do so. So for instance, this little newsletter email 3 that just went out, for her, we're saying these things like this. We're like, hey, and what we want to do is kind of be in their inbox once a week, just so that they're aware of the things that are happening. So we'll say, hey, we'll keep you informed of important tax updates, credits to take advantage of, and ways to improve your current situation. So here we have, here's tax news. Okay, here's what's going on this week in the tax world and how it can affect you. And this is going out to your current customers, because just as it is important to acquire new ones, you got to retain your existing ones. Because if I'm a tax pro who knows this really well, and I start to, if I get your information and I'm starting to position myself in your inbox every week, I can take those customers from you. And as more tax preparers start to join the industry who are very, digitally savvy, virtual ones, they're going to start to position these types of things. And if you don't have these tools available to you, then you're gonna get left behind, or you're gonna get poached by another tax pro. Now we have, okay, health savings account. Here's information on the child tax credit. Here's information on Cash App, right, where they can click on it, get some quick information from you, and here are the top 3 things that are happening on this week. You continue to scroll down here. Hey, check out our services this tax season. We offer refund advances, a pay by refund option. We're going to make sure that we maximize your refund. We offer credit repair, tax resolution, financial consulting. Feel free to go ahead and schedule a call with me today. Okay. We appreciate your business. A little banner where they click on that, it'll take them to your Google My Business profile where they can give you a star rating. Now everything's starting to come together. Hey, refer a friend and get paid. Call on your friends and you can both earn $25 or $50 or whatever your referral is. And you want to be able to do that because as you approach tax season, I'm thinking, well, if I bring this person 5 people, that's an extra $250 just by asking my friends and family. And now you're getting referrals really quickly. At least that part is top of mind, right? If you're working with other businesses in the area, we can add things like, hey, want to get featured in our weekly newsletter? Submit your feature request for a small business. And then we have this little footer here where you can add your Instagram, your social media accounts, and things like that. So these are just some of the things that we're doing. Now, if you have any ideas of a promotion, a giveaway, kind of start to build your list, get some attention. If you want to, run a promotion for like, let's say a raffle for, Samsung TV or a pair of AirPods, like sign up today or refer a friend and, get an entry to our raffle for Halloween or Thanksgiving. We can start to send these out to your customers. You'll start to get referrals. People will send them to you, right? And so that's essentially what we want to do, and start to scale your business that way. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to discuss this. If you have any questions, just go off mute, ask anything, no silly questions. There's a ton of information I just shared with you guys, but I really hope you found it valuable because our goal is to make sure that you guys grow.
Awesome, Jesse. Thanks so much for that. And again, that was recorded, so we'll be sure to post that and get it out so everybody can watch it later if they missed anything or they want to review anything. So we really appreciate it. We'll go ahead and end this one now. And thanks again, Jesse. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.